All right, this video, wow. I probably won't post this video for a few weeks, and I'll explain why, I think, if I remember to in this video. But today is Wednesday, I think it's the 13th of March, 2024. And I just got in today, double boxed, from my friend Jim Butler. I think it's World War II cover, WW2 covers on Instagram. My all-time grail book. And it's not a book that, I bet you if you asked 1,000 comic book collectors, not a single one of them would get it right, other than the few that I told. So the story is, and I'll show you the book here in a minute as I cut through the second box, which is my comic shop. Yeah, perfect. Oh man, she's pretty. Yeah. This is my grail. It's not even close to the most expensive or most valuable book in my collection. And that's what makes it special. To me, a grail, a personal grail, goes beyond the market value of a book. You know, Spider-Man, Superman 1, yeah, got it. Batman 1, sure. I don't have Tech 27 or Action 1. Not yet. Maybe one day I'll get it back in the family. Grandpa had all those books years ago. Uncle sold them. I digress. So I got in the golden age, I don't know, a handful of years ago, give or take. And I got the Gerber books. And I looked through those, and I followed a lot of auctions online, and I had some family that was impacted during the war by the Nazis. And that kind of resonated with me, as going after covers that are anti-Nazi and in support of the war efforts. And I found just a handful of covers that really spoke to me. And I picked up a couple of copies of Cap 37, which is Cap dropping the torpedo or the bomb, whatever, on the Nazis. Bucky's going at him with a flamethrower. Just awesome. I've got a 1.0. That's a really nice 1.0, and a 6.5 from the Bobby Blue collection, which is pretty neat, and I just love them. I got a Cat 46, and I think 3.0, I think it is. I don't think it's a 3.5, that I bought raw from a dealer. It had glue, so in the right-hand corner of Cat 46, you know, it has the 46, and that was cut a little bit or torn. So someone used glue to put it back together, and got in touch with Matt Nelson at CGC. They were able to use tape to reattach it. So if it didn't have that, it would have been like a 6.0, give or take, 5.0 maybe. But with the tape, it dropped it down to a 3.0 or 3.5. Great, that's the Holocaust cover. Great book. You know, several other books that are anti-Nazi. Clue Comics #1, I have a couple copies of, I think, a 3.5 and a 4.5. Trying to get Lee Kirby Ditko to sell me his raw copy he just got. And you know, there's a bunch of others. The list is not short of what's available, certainly. And I have a decent selection in my collection. But this book has eluded me. And I forgot to confirm the census numbers before making this video. But I think, and again, I'm going off memory, I think there's 18 total CGC copies. 12 of them are Universal Blue Labels. My copy is a CBCS, which everyone, well, the few people I've told I'm getting it, they're like, oh, you can just send it to CGC, and they'll probably give you a little bit of a grade bump. And I don't know if I care, honestly. I don't plan to ever let this one leave the collection. So without further ado, Amazing Man 22. You can see this guy punching these giant Nazi apes. I mean, is that not beautiful? How beautiful is that? It's a 1/5. He bought it from Comic Connect a while ago. Classic World War II cover, last Iron Skull and Shark, silver streak and Hitler appearance. And it's downgraded because cover detached and completely split, 2 center wraps attached. I was able to get it. I knew Jim had it. Just kind of found out, I think, by asking a few people I trusted. And I think he was one of them. He said, yeah, I have a copy, but I'm never selling it. I asked him for, I want to say over a year, probably every month, like, hey, just checking in. I don't want to pester you, but, would you consider letting it go? And he told me something happened with his family, and so he was raising money and selling most of his collection. And his collection is crazy. It's so good. I'll see if he'll send me a link to all the books that are coming up in the Heritage auctions. I know he has some currently and more coming in May and June. He's got like a 5.0 copy of U.S. Jones #1, I think it is, and maybe a V Comics #1 around the same grade. And those are just a few small examples. But I just want to thank Jim Butler for giving me the opportunity. He said he wasn't going to sell them to me, to anyone. He was going to send them to CGC or to Heritage. And I told him, I said, what do you think you'll get for it? He's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to. I said, please give me a chance. Just give me a chance to make you an offer. The book is my grail. It's the book that I need in my collection. He's like, well, you'd be able to buy it at the auction. I said, I know, Jim. I said, I don't want to wait. I've waited years. I said, just let me make you an offer. And I made him an offer that was probably $5K or more above what I thought it would go for. You never know with these books. They're so rare. They could surprise you and go a lot higher. But I wanted him to know, like, hey, I'm serious about this. And if I didn't know your situation with your family, I would have probably offered you this number. I don't mind paying a little more because, number one, you gave me the opportunity, and I appreciate that. And number two, I know what you're raising the funds for. So I've never been this excited over a book, I don't think. I can't imagine I ever have been. This is so cool. And look at this Nazi ape with his mouth agape. He's planning to bite. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm so happy. Sincere thank you to Jim Butler. And I know he reached out to Rick at New Force Comics, and Rick's like, for the price he offered, sell it to him. And I think he talked to Anna and Tyler as well. And I'm not sure. I think they told him, like, hey, it's probably a good price. And so he agreed. I don't know what he would have sold it for. Like, I don't know if I came in at a much lower number. Maybe he would have, but you know what? That's the book I wanted. I paid up for books I didn't want as much. So why the heck not pay up for my personal grail? So I'm really excited to share that with you all. Got an Amazing Man Comics #22, CGC 1.5 blue label. I'm over the moon for this book, and I am so grateful for the opportunity to own it. Thanks so much, Jim. What's your personal grail? It doesn't have to be a super expensive book. This is just the guy going after the Nazi apes. To me, it makes the Nazis, they're larger than life. They were so evil. Their evil makes them huge. And this guy, he was going after him. And that's what had to happen. And that's what the Allies did during the war. And it's important we never forget those things. And books like this help reinforce that and help us not forget. So if you feel inclined, comment what you thought about the book and share your personal grail. I'd love to hear some off the beat grails. And maybe your grail is Amazing Spider-Man 1 or Batman 1 or, I don't know, Daredevil 1. Or maybe it's something very obscure. I'd love to hear. And if I can help you find it, I will. God bless.